It's Stab Walt here on Rocket Radio, hanging with Jordan from The Ready Set. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. So, I listened to the EP, and there are so many different sounds and styles going on here. You know, it's really hard to pigeonhole. What would you describe your music? How would you describe it?
I usually just say pop. I don't know. I used to consider it a lot more electronic kind of stuff, but I'm kind of getting away from that. Just, I don't know, just whatever kind of pop I can make it, I guess. Just everything.
Right. What are some of the influences that you pull into your music?
My biggest influence is a band called Copeland. I have a lot of like hip hop influences, I think, into it, and some electronic stuff, some like club stuff, I guess. Just anything I hear like on the radio or anywhere else, just kind of just gets into my head and ends up in my songs, I guess.
So if something is catchy and you're like, that's pretty cool, you'll just kind of grab that idea.
Yeah, definitely.
Now you're from Fort Wayne, Indiana?
Mm-hmm.
What was it like growing up there? I mean, it's not, in my mind at least, a hotbed of music activity.
No.
So how was that influential in your upbringing, musically?
Musically, I don't really know. There's not much of a music scene there, really. When I was growing up a little bit, there was a big hardcore scene there, so I don't know if that comes off in my music in any way at all, but that's about all there was there.
Were you part of that? Did you?
Kinda. I played in hardcore bands. I played drums, so I was a big part of that for a while, but not so much anymore.
Yeah, I listened to the EP, and it seems, obviously a lot of programming going on there.
Yeah.
It's and a lot of beat stuff going on. How did you get from drums then into the more computer-based stuff?
It was kind of what I had. Like, I wanted to write my own songs and stuff, and I never really learned how to play guitar, so I had like a keyboard and a computer. So I was just like, all right. So I had like GarageBand on it and started making stuff, and then eventually started using Logic and kind of taking it more seriously. And yeah, just kind of one thing led to another, and I just ended up doing this. So
did you have any formal music training as far as,
I had, when I was younger, like I was like 11 years old, I played drums and I took lessons for that, but as far as anything else goes, it's just kind of figured it out on my own.
Because, listen to the EP, there's some great song structure there, like especially in like, the chords and great pop songs, and
Thanks.
It seems like you've learned some really good stuff about music.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. My older songs they were a lot more simple. I guess it's just kind of like going song by song and just figuring out what to do and what not to do, and I just kind of taught myself like about structure and like the best way to make things sound powerful and effective and stuff.
Right. You've done very well.
Thank you.
Now, I read that the Ready Set started as an acoustic duo.
I used to be in an acoustic duo with a friend of mine, but the Ready Set started because he moved to Chicago to go to school and stuff, and I was like, well, I don't have anything else to do, so I'll just keep going on my own, I guess, and kind of pick up where it left off and just do it alone. And I don't know. I like where it's gone a lot more. It's been a lot more. I've taken it a lot more seriously. Like, we never really played too much outside of my hometown with that, so this is kind of like that times 100, I guess.
Right, and now you're in New York.
Yeah.
How do you go about writing songs? Do you start with lyrics? Do you start with beats?
Every song is different. Like, some songs I start completely just like beats, and then I make the whole structure with music and everything, and then other ones I'll just like figure it out like on a piano and write all the lyrics and vocals. Then it's like it changes with every song, I guess. I don't know. It's like whatever way feels natural, I guess.
You're right. The EP is called Stays For the Same, 4 being spelled like the number. You want to explain that?
That song kind of about like every time that we had toured, or well, most of the times we had toured up until I wrote that song, there had been 4 people with us, and it was kind of about like, since it's like a solo project kind of thing, I'm always making live member changes, and it's kind of like lame just because you get attached to people and like you become friends with them. So whenever you have to like get rid of someone, it's kind of like, it's like a hard thing to do.
Right.
So it's kind of like referring to that, like keeping things the same in that respect with like people you have with you and like surrounding you all the time.
Gotcha. I noticed that you sometimes have a rapid fire lyric delivery going on there. Is that intentional, or is that you just have to cram some words in there?
Yeah, I do it on purpose. I think that's kind of if there's any hip hop influence, it's probably that. And I think a lot of it is, since like my main musical thing is percussion, I like real like percussive-ish, quick like lyric structures, I guess, like
Sure.
rhythmic structures and stuff. So that's kind of
Does it cause any problems when you do it live?
not really. That's actually kind of the easier parts, I
Really?
think. Yeah, it's just like that's always been kind of natural because I guess I kind of naturally talk fast anyway if I'm like not thinking about it.
Right.
So I don't know.
That's cool. Now, you've been recording in your basement, is what I read.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any aspirations to branch out and get into like a real studio? Do you think you even need to in this current environment where technology is advanced?
Actually, that EP that you have is I recorded all those like demos in my basement and stuff, but I actually recorded those in a studio called Tree Sound in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh.
So yeah, I like that a lot more though.
Yeah,
It sounds better.
a lot more toys to play with.
Yeah, definitely.
Any producers or anything you'd like to work with in the future?
Yeah, there's a couple. I don't know too much about like the world of producers or anything, but I want to work with Matt Squire. I think that'd be cool. We're talking to another group of a few people that we might work with, but it's all kind of up in the air right now. But whoever's really good, I guess.
So you're not opposed to it. You're not
No.
like, this is my music, I got to do it my way.
I mean, like, I don't want to do like any like co-writing kind of things. Like, I want to write everything, have it completely be my own, but like just like getting like input from other people is always good. So,
Right.
and like, I don't know, they'd make it sound better than I ever would, like recording wise, like engineering stuff too.
Right.
Because like, all I had was like one condenser mic and a little interface thing.
Yeah, but you've done very well with that.
I think I've done it as well as I can do with that. Like,
Right.
it's either like recording quality has to go up a lot, or else it'll be like he's gonna keep putting out these gross sounding, really quiet demos forever. So
And now you're taking the show out on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have a band.
yeah. When I first started touring last July, and it was just me and a keyboard player. So it was kind of like it wasn't that cool really. But since then I added like a drummer and bass player, and we have like a light show and stuff. So it's kind of a big spectacle now, I guess.
Right.
But yeah.
Because the EP sounds, as I mentioned, very programmed and whatnot. I would love to hear it with this full band
Yeah,
involved.
yeah, it's a lot different. That's kind of more the direction I'm taking it anyway. I'm recording a lot more like real drums and stuff in my songs, and like real bass and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I was going to ask if down the road you saw yourself implementing more.
oh yeah, definitely more organic stuff than electronic.
So you're on the road right now with the Scene Aesthetic and the Color Fred. How's that tour going?
It's been awesome. It's really really relaxed tour compared to the last couple ones we've done. It's really easy. Like there's been like pre-show hangout things at parks before where just like a bunch of kids who are going to the show go and just meet everyone and hang out, and it's real relaxed.
Right.
Just a good time.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to see what happens next year, because I think you're off to a great start.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, man.